So often we can set goals, have ideas about what we want to do, but we actually haven't got ourselves 100% on board. So we've not addressed our fears, our doubts, our past experiences, our expectations. And when we do that, what inevitably happens is we tend to come back to what we know again and again and again and get stuck on that hamster wheel of knowing where we want to go, or thinking we know where we want to go, but not actually being able to fully experience it long enough for that to become the default setting, the way that we naturally live, the new habit. My name is Leanne Campbell and I'm a life and wellbeing coach, and I specialise in somatic practices. I'm also co-creator of a Handpicked Life, which is a membership platform that creates a framework so you can really stay with your dreams, your passions, design a life that's fulfilling, happy, and gives you the ability to be generous, because when we're in the life that we want to live, when we're fulfilling our desires, then we naturally ripple that out into the world. We're more cooperative, we enjoy a natural feeling of connection, and we want to share our good fortune. If you'd like to know more about us, then you can check us out. All the details are below. But today I'd really like to talk to you about a daily practice and somatic practices and why they're so powerful. If you think about it, anything that we do, any goal that we set, any time we want a certain job, an item, we want to change a habit, what we're going after is a feeling. We're looking for a feeling in order to feel happier, more fulfilled, more content. Sometimes it's simply just to feel safer in our bodies. So when we're beginning a practice, a new habit, a new project, why not create the feeling first? Why would we not get our bodies on board? Because the moment we do that and the moment we turn inward, we start to notice the familiar voice that often holds us back, that familiar feeling that will then start to talk to us and tell us why we should just start tomorrow, or why we should stick with what we know, even if it's not making us any happier. Your body never lies, and as much as we can override things and think positive and force ourselves on with willpower, at the end of the day, this is where we live, this is where we experience life from. And if our bodies are not comfortable, they're going to tell us eventually, and they're going to find ways to actually bring us back to what we know, because then at least, okay, we know this. We're not exposing ourselves, we're going to be safer. Your body is a gateway into your subconscious, and your subconscious holds every single thing that's ever happened to you, every decision you've made, every experience you've had. So when we get stuck on those automatic patterns, those behaviors that we don't want anymore, those feelings that really prevent us from living a happy, fulfilling life, the answer is to really drop down into your subconscious and let your body talk to you. What we often learn to do is ignore it, is to carry on, to stay with what we know, or we fight it. We go in there with willpower, forcing ourselves into patterns that we're not yet prepared to do. Yes, there's a time for pure discipline, just get on with it, do it. However, if you're not 100% on board, your subconscious will find ways of bringing you back to what you know, so you'll feel safe. You know, often it's just as simple as you'll forget to do that thing that you're feeling was really beneficial, or suddenly life will get really, really busy and it doesn't look like it's anything to do with you, but in actual fact there's a part of you that's preventing you from continuing down this path because it's new, you don't know it, you don't want to be exposed, you don't want to have that experience that you had all those years ago when you swore you would never put yourself in that position again. I've witnessed time and time again when people have a daily practice, a time when they can wipe the slate clean, they can calm the stress response in the body and get to that point where they're just fully present. When you're fully present right now in this moment is where your potential lives. It's there, it's ready. If you think about it, it only takes a second to change. It's that moment that you truly decide. It's that moment that you truly let go. And when we practice just purely being present, so it's not about constantly wringing out our souls or looking for problems. It's a time just to be at peace, a time to give your body a chance, if it needs to let go, or if it needs to, something might bubble up into your conscious, so then you fully understand something, and then you're able to move forward and leave it in the past where it should be. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to meet yourself every day in that peaceful place. It doesn't have to take much of your day, and it certainly has an effect that builds and builds. You know, there's that beautiful saying, if you put a piece of paper down every day, by the end of the year, you've got this board that you can't break. And what I love about having a practice where you're present, so whether that is yoga, qigong, tai chi, for you it just might be a time where you're gardening, but you're fully present. You're really noticing the soil on your hands. You're noticing the sounds in the air. And then afterwards, there's just a few moments of stillness. So a practice that really works for you, that you know that you've been fully nourished, that you've been fully present, and you've given yourself a chance to really tap into that potential that's inside of you. And the beauty of it is your practice does it for you. So often when we're wrangling or we're forcing ourselves, going to this really gentle, ancient way, you know, and many of these practices have been around for thousands of years because there's a power in them. They work. They've served us for such a long time. And when we tap into the essence of that, you find that gently, gradually, things begin to change. And so when you choose to put a conscious effort into something, or you might choose to really face something that's been difficult in the past, you've built up a strength and a resilience that will be there to really support you. Also, what comes with embodiment and somatic practices is really building that feeling, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring more of into your life. So for example, if you want more ease and flow, actually finding that movement in the body, noticing how it feels, to really feel easy, graceful, inside and outside, allowing things to come to you, rather than having to go out and grab them. Or finding that strength, feeling that strength and power and stillness in your body, how you feel it, your unique way of finding your strength. That when you really feel that physically, it's so strong, it's so powerful, and it really goes into the subconscious, that feeling. How am I when I'm strong? How do I feel when I'm really expansive and I'm feeling generous? And when we use postures and movement with that, then you're immediately going straight to the core, straight to that feeling that you want to create. So when you build the feeling first, what you notice is the rest comes into play because it's already happened, it's already there in your body. And a practice is just that, is practice. And so it gets to the point that practice makes perfect. So suddenly it's there for you. It's a skill that you have when you're under pressure, when things get rocky. And the most important thing is to see it is something joyful. You can layer it in gradually. It doesn't have to be a huge chore. And in fact, studies have shown that if you limit yourself and you say, well, I'm only allowed to practice for 10 minutes, or 5 minutes, then chances are when you come to do your practice, you'll want to do longer. So you're not forcing yourself into something. The more fun you have with something, the more joy you have with something, the more you bring in the ways that really lift your spirit, then the easier it becomes. So when you're designing your own practice, it's good to have a varied amount of things that you can dip into. What works for me? What works for me right now? So what works for you now in this month? You may find next month you might want to layer in something else or slightly change direction. So make it joyful. Nobody said you had to run on the treadmill for 20 minutes a day. There's something that we tell ourselves. No one said you've got to do these yoga postures for 50 minutes a day. And the more we get into that, I'm in charge here. I know my body better than anyone else, and I want to make this home a pleasant, spacious place to live in and do things that I look forward to doing. The more we do that, then the easier and more open life becomes. So however you choose to follow us, whether you join our membership or just sign up for our newsletter, watch our YouTube channel, then enjoy it. Find the way that really works for you. Right now, we're at a time in our evolution where there's so much change. There's so many movements right now. It's turbulent, it's sometimes scary, but it's also incredibly exciting that we're at this time where we can create whatever we want right now because the story is not written and massive change has already happened. So where the deck's going to land, we have a say in it. And when we take charge of our own lives and we know how to keep ourselves grounded and centered, when we can really connect with our community and feel that support, that's when we're truly in our power. So check out the details. Thank you for listening. And if you've enjoyed this, then please like it, subscribe, share it, and help us to get our message out to the world. Thank you.